Hi, good afternoon, Shivam. How are you doing?
Hi, good afternoon, ma'am. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. So, Shivam, you recently got a job in Nielsen. So, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, this alumni interview we typically do in order to get more information from an alumni for the other set of people who are aspiring to be the analyst so that they know how to prepare, what worked for you, so that they can adapt and adopt those kind of things and then prepare for the interviews. So, let's start with your educational background.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me for this interview. So I'm Shivam, and I I have a decent background in my. So the background goes like I am a maths honors. I have done my graduation, and right after my graduation, I enrolled for the course. Previously, my 10th and 12th standard grades uh, were above 90, which helped in the interview. So that's about it. I haven't done, I have done my graduation. After that, I just straightforward enrolled into the course.
So, which program did you enroll for at Ivy
I enrolled for the data science course along with the machine learning.
with machine learning? All right. And Shiva, when I look at your resume, I see that you've done almost 6 projects that you've put on the resume. I'm sure you must have done more than 6, which are not in the resume. So why have you made your resume project focused? How do you think this kind of resume helps you to get job interviews?
Okay, so the story goes like this. Right after I, graduated, I actually tried to, get a job without any, sort of. I did knew a bit of Excel, SQL, but not much because they were a part of course while I was doing graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when I applied for it, there wasn't like much response because they wanted some course or something along with it, and that was the reason I enrolled for IV's course. And so the reason I kept it project focused was I already had an intuition, like when I was searching around in the first 2 3 months, like how can I get a job right after the graduation, that kind of thing. I did realize the people are looking for projects. I did had a conversation with people on LinkedIn. They were like, if you have some projects on your resume, it will really help. And more so when I came into the IB program, I think the first 2 classes were of Excel and SQL, and both of them were taken by Pratik sir. And he was very like he emphasized it in pretty much all of his classes that you have to all of these tools are meant to solve a problem and to keep it problem focused. Like companies are not looking for someone who can do SQL or someone who can do Excel, but someone who can solve problems as a data guy. So
Absolutely.
that was the reason behind keeping it project focused.
All right. And do you think this approach worked for you also?
It did. It certainly helped. I mean, so having projects on the resume has this one, profitability thing that you in the interview you are the one who's leading the interview because the person's gonna ask you about, hey, this is. I mean, I did a COVID data set thing, but that didn't
Mhm.
help much. So my interview told me that something that is very relevant to data to industry is more relevant. Like uh, something which I did on, let's say, the automotive parts, that
Uh-huh.
was more relevant to the industry, and they would be asking me questions on it. So if we are doing uh, projects which are relevant to the industry, the interview is very focused on that. And because I have done it, I have spent like maybe a week on it or sometimes more. Then I know all the nuances of it and I can answer it very well.
Absolutely. So what you're emphasizing on is do projects, but make sure it's industry focused. Business objectives, like business problem is being solved in your case study. Correct?
Right.
And like you're a fresher, so right now you have, you can explore any of the industries. You can work in the finance, take a project from retail, take a project from marketing into it. And people who probably are more experienced would have to take projects based on their current industry and create the project case studies out of that and solve business problems in it, not just showcase that yes, I know the tool and this is what the tool does.
Correct.
All
That's one of
right.
the that's one
Yeah.
of the benefits of being a fresher. Like I think there's a lot of cons to it. One of the pros would be, hey, you can pick and choose whatever you want.
Absolutely. So, in your recent interview with Nielsen, how do you think the curriculum at Ivy helped you in order to crack that interview?
So the interview was three parts. One of them was a technical, the first round. Then there was another interview, which was again technical, but it was not like, I'm given a. So first was assignment kind of thing. Like I just have
Mm-hmm.
to give the answers. Second was technical interview, and third was the HR round. And I think so. In the technical interview, Ivy helped me. In the technical and assignment, obviously, Ivy helped me because all the concepts I had learned were directly being applied to there. There was one of the questions so there were 6 questions in the technical round, which we had to solve while the interview was on the other side,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like watching the screen. And the sixth question was exactly like, we had the last milestone project. It was exactly like very similar to that. So there was we had to find distances and things. That's one of the things. Like it's a row and column of different,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to find the distances between it. In a
Oh,
tab,
the assessment question you're talking
yeah,
about.
that assessment
All right.
session. So
Yeah.
it was just that we had to do the same thing. So it was very easy. So that's where it helped. Now coming to HR round, I think I had the confidence because I had done a lot of interview, especially in Excel. I had a lot of confidence that I'll be able to
Mm-hmm.
ace it because what happens is when we are into IB, when we are doing Excel, we are not doing anything else. So Excel is like the only thing which we can do
Mm-hmm.
because everything else requires at least Excel to be done before. So if you're doing Python, you need to have Excel before. So you have a lot of time, which actually gives a lot of time for doing the project and playing around with things. Uh, so for that reason, I was very confident with it, which helped me answer any question the HR
Mm-hmm.
had or the technical guy had. So that's how I was able to ace it.
All right. And so, in all the interviews that you have given, I know you were looking for internships also as well as full-time jobs. So, in all the variety of companies that you have interacted with, what do you think are the top tools that a person should absolutely focus on in order to get into this data science industry?
So Excel is uncompromisable. You cannot compromise on it. So I mean, I was doing this interview on SQL with Urban Company, and even I mean, they extensively use it. Like when we get the data sets out, the right data sets out, we have to download it. And I had to prepare like in my first week or second week itself. I don't First or second week, I had to prepare. There was like they were changing the some kind of things were getting changed, and I had to
Mm-hmm.
calculate like what would be the uh, difference of change. Like it was just thought about. So my manager told me just make two tables in which there is a previous percentages on that
Mm-hmm.
basis. What is the revenue that is coming out, and the new percentages, new quotas that have been established, which we think of establishing. What is the difference that is coming out? Is there a major difference or some profit or some loss,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is? So all those things have to be done on Excel. So these things of I mean, one doesn't have to be the absolute best at it, master at it, which is good if
Mm-hmm.
one is, but at least knowing VLOOKUPs, basic formulas, that is absolutely necessary. After that, it depends. I mean, it depends upon whether one is going for machine learning, whether one is going for deep learning thing. That's another thing. Then you need to know Python and the libraries and all that. But if you're going for
Mm-hmm.
data science, SQL is very important. SQL. So if you learn MySQL, PostgreSQL, none of that is actually used in the industry. Like Postgres somewhere used. Generally, people use so in urban companies, Snowflake was being used. But if
Okay.
you know one form of SQL, other forms of SQL is very easy. Like
Very easy to understand. Yeah.
Snowflake was just changing a bit of things here and there, and you have it. So
Mm.
uh, I'll say Excel is the bare minimum. After that, it depends upon where you're headed. So if you're like, I'm the person who I did my visualization course in Tableau, and I was like, this is not for me. This is out. like literally, I'm
You're
not
more
a
of a
visual
Python guy, huh?
more of Python guy. So if someone is going for visualization, so it's you must be focusing on Tableau or the Power BI, any of those
Mhm.
tools.
Yeah, but SQL is again, like you said, it forms basis for anything. Even in
Right.
visualization, if your concepts of SQL and database relationship management they are not clear, you will not survive that also.
Correct.
All right, so your love is Python then. And that's a good thing. Like I keep telling everyone, like how a person goes to a school or college and we study 10 things, but we fall in love with few subjects. Same thing happens in analytics. To get into data science, we really don't need to know all of the tools and master all the tools, like you said. But yes, we should have the knowledge of what each and every tool can do for us, and whichever we like, that is one which we can push our career into. And I've seen, students making beautiful career only based on SQL or only based on Tableau or only based on Python. And some of them have made it in Excel also. They're getting good salaries in Excel itself. So, pursue what you're passionate about because you can't really master all of them. That's absolutely and correctly put by you. All right, Shivam. So thank you so much, Shivam, for giving us your time today and making us go through your journey at Ivy and how you prepared for the interview, how you got your job, and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
All right, take care. Thank you.